That's quite an intro to live up to. Thank you. It's good to be with you. First of all, Jeff McKinney. I come through ASAP. My dad was in the Air Force. And so thank you first to Bob, who led us through this process of 6 weeks in this class, giving us good feedback, giving us a place to tell our stories. Thanks to each of the folks who are here tonight telling your story. I can't wait to hear yours. It's been good to listen to your story and get your feedback. And then always thanks for having us here at the District Theater. This story has a title, and it's called this is part of a larger show that I'm working on called Don't Hide Your Hitch. And it's about being yourself, and it's about my growing up in a trailer park. Who here has seen a trailer park? Seen a trailer park, right? They have a hitch, right? Big metal hitch. And when I was a kid, my mom used to put fencing up or flower pots up to try to, I guess, fake out the other 699 trailers that were in the trailer park. And so it comes from that. Don't hide your hitch. So as a 10-year-old boy in 1980, I loved the county fair. You all know what a county fair is? Carnival, right? Carnival, rides, games, food, and it was my life. I grew up in southern Indiana, Columbus. We would have the Bartholomew County Fair one week, and the next week where my kin lived, my grandparents, my cousins, they lived in Jackson County. So we'd have 2 fair weeks in a row. And I loved the Jackson County Fair. It was always good. I always had to go with my cousins. And so we'd go down to my grandparents. My grandma, she's about this tall. I call her a stout woman, right? Little black glasses, friendly, loving, cooked dinner for all of us every Sunday. 25 to 30 people, cousins, aunts, and uncles. But she had a disciplinarian side. Sometimes I would test that. Most times I would lose. Right? And then I had my grandpa, was like maybe 95 pounds, little old dude, bald head. And that's where I got a lot of my sense of humor. Very funny guy. I wanted to get him, my goal was to get him laughing so hard that his false teeth would fall out. And they did a lot. They did a lot. So I want to tell you about the time when I coveted a mirror at a county fair. It was a summer day in 1980. My grandparents, we were all at my grandparents, and we piled in. My grandma was standing at the front. I remember saying, "Don't spend all your money at the games." And I thought, it's too late. I'm going to spend all my money on the games. I love the games. And so we got in my grandpa's big red Chevy Impala. We go to Brownstown, and we get out the car, and it's just every sense is being hit, right? The smell of the cattle barn, the turtles. Then you get the rabbits, and then there's the 4-H barn with all the pies. And then you hear the dinging of the rides. You hear the carnies shouting, trying to get, and that just got me very excited as a kid. And there was this one booth, and they had all these different mirrors. I was fascinated with it. Back then it was Hall & Oates. I had a Hall & Oates mirror, a Def Leppard mirror, AC/DC. They had some with marijuana leaves on them. I didn't really know what that was when I was 10. But there was one up in the corner that I coveted. I knew it was dirty, but I didn't know exactly how dirty it was. My cousins would encourage me to keep popping balloons as I traded a little mirror for larger ones. And finally, right, you got the music playing from the Himalayas. Anyone remember the Himalaya? The music blaring, funnel cakes, elephant ears, lemon shake-ups, all of that. I hear the music, I hear the games. My cousins are yelling at me, pop more balloons. Finally, I get enough to get this mirror that I had so coveted. And I got that mirror, and I cherished it for the rest of the day. I got into that car. My grandpa came. At that point in my life, I called him Papa. He came to pick us all up. I was so proud of the mirror. My cousins knew what was on the mirror. They were a little older than me, so they knew it was probably going to get me in trouble. I knew it probably would get me in trouble, but I didn't care. And so we got home, and my grandpa's sitting in the chair, and I kind of saunter in as a 10-year-old, and I show it to him. And what happens? He laughs so hard that his teeth fall out. I reached one goal for the day, and then I took it back to my grandmother. Again, probably knew I was going to get something for it, a stern woman. And she looked at it. It's like this big. Again, I had spent all my money on this mirror. All of my energy popping balloons with darts to get this mirror. It was my prized possession in August of 1980. And she looked at it and she read it. It was a devil, like a kind of a chunky devil with a pitchfork. And it just said, "I'm so horny, even the crack of dawn looks good." And she took the mirror and she slammed it into the trash can. And then for the next 30 minutes, I had to walk around with a bar of Irish Spring soap in my mouth. And I had to pick out my own switch. Who's had to pick out their own switch? You learn to pick out the right one. Because at the second try, it's going to be a lot worse. So I got soap, I got the switch, I was out my mirror. And yet as I reflect back about that, it was part of me. I'm kind of rebellious. I don't really like rules. And that was part of my reflection as I write and work on this other show of just me being myself and not hiding my hitch. So there you are. Don't hide your hitch. Thank you, everybody.